This parcel of land, it abuts onto where the rifle range property, and so we always used to come up the rifle range road, and we would cross country ski and we'd hike up here across to the Roxbury Road and go back down the mountain. And I guess over the last several years we found that this whole area is being clear cut.
I'm George Rosani, and I'm here today to try and protect water, trying to protect forests, and make sure that this doesn't carry on any further than it already has, because I think we're way past the point of any kind of reasonable forest management. We need something really different. So we're just kind of sitting here peacefully, and I'm not really I don't know, I guess some people call me an activist, but I consider myself somebody who wants to work with everybody, and we're not trying to take jobs away from people. We're not trying to mess with anybody. We just want to be good neighbors and make sure that our forests and ourselves and everybody is looked after, and especially our children and their children. So we can't carry on this way. So
part of the clear cutting process is to follow up by spraying to try and destroy the deciduous understory, and therefore improve the materials from a forestry perspective. We're against the spraying, both for health reasons and from my organic orchard perspective. But we're, in a way, we're much more concerned about the mentality that says clear cutting is a way to get money out of the forests of Nova Scotia. There are better ways that don't involve either destroying nature or destroying the health of individual citizens in Nova Scotia.
Hi, I'm Timothy Habinski, the Warden for the municipality of the County of Annapolis. And last week, Tuesday, Council sent a letter to the Departments of the Environment and the Department of Land and Forests requesting a permanent moratorium on glyphosate spraying within Annapolis County. I'm here today on one of the parcels that is slated for the spraying. This is the parcel that's adjacent to Eel Weir Lake. And this is an area that's been clear cut in the last couple of years. It would have been mixed forest at the time, and the intention of the spraying is to suppress the growth of trees other than the softwood trees that the company intends to harvest in about 30 years' time. And the feeling you get when you walk this is an immediate sense of loss. And I think that probably most people who walk a site like this do. Clear-cut sites are sort of intrinsically a little bit on the sad side. But the loss that you feel in particular here is because so much is trying to regrow. So you walk this, you had an area that's had all the foliage completely removed, that's had all the trees removed. And life is so persistent, it's trying to come back. Just walking the fields just briefly, you'll count about a dozen different species of trees that have reseeded themselves and that are struggling to grow back into a forest that has something like the biodiversity that it would have had before it was clear cut. And it's precisely that biodiversity that the spraying is designed to prevent. So I've seen little trees that would once have been part of a collective ecosystem that could support a variety of animal life, a variety of fungal life, and a further variety of plant life. And its opportunity to do that diminishes. And what really happens when you have this kind of a process where you're really forcing monoculture on an area, you force it with a clear cut initially, and then you force it with the spraying of an agent like glyphosate. It's like what you originally had was an original document, and then you make a copy of it and destroy the original, and then you make a copy of that copy and and you make another copy of that. And with each successive copy that you make, you've lost information that was present in the original. And ultimately, it will never come back. It'll never have the capacity to support life that the original had. This is the process that we're engaged in right here. So just for the sake of the forest alone, this seems like such a tragic mistake, because we're at the point right now where really useful work could be done with silviculture. which is very human labor intensive. It means you'd send people in to actually work the fields in order to do some very collective pruning and some very collective preservation of certain species here, and try to foster the growth of a diverse forest that could perhaps support the kind of biodiversity that it once originally had. That, to me, is the direction that Nova Scotia needs to be moving in. And of course, with this particular issue, there's more at stake than just the issue of the biodiversity of the forest. There's also the issue of human health. So the lake, Eel Weir Lake, I believe, is about 4 kilometers in that direction. I sent out for a little walk over the fields. It's very tiring walking through slash. You're not going to walk that in a hurry. But Eel Weir Lake and Paradise Lake, which is on the other plot of land, they both, the water from those lakes flows down to the valley floor. It becomes part of the drinking water supply that people in the valley floor use, in particular to the village of Lawrencetown. And we know there's such a high correlation between the spraying of glyphosate and the incidence of human cancer. So there's a potential really significant human cost attached to this practice. And we need to be looking at this and considering, we need to be making decisions for our natural resources here in the province based on what the best use of the property could be. Can you clear cut and minimize the damage? Yes. Can you try to have a very restricted regimen of how spraying can be done? Sure you can. Are those ever optimal? It just doesn't seem to be possible that could be the right answer.
What still has been cut but is now waiting to be sprayed. Okay?
Right.
So essentially, somewhere on the other side of this road here,
Right.
is you'll find boundary markers that show that edge. So that's that edge where the rifle range is. And it's a long, narrow strip, right? And it just goes and goes and goes. And we've walked as far as we wanted to walk.
Understood. Yeah.
But there's several
It's not easy walking through slash.
No, it isn't. No. So after a while, we got kind of tired and we cut out the other way. So then we had a group of people come here on Saturday and walked them around, showed them the entrance from that end, showed them the entrance from this end, and then we were looking for a suitable site to put up some sort of camp. And we decided this was about the most convenient. The other one we did, of course, was Roxbury.
Right.
Okay, and there's 2 parcels down there, right on the abut onto Paradise Lake.
Yes. From what we understand from the companies, the spraying is actually slated to begin next week. So the window of opportunity that we have to see something change here is a fairly small one. If the municipality doesn't receive a response to the correspondence we sent to Ministers Rankin and Wilson in the next day or two, then we need to have an opportunity to have a conversation with the province about this. This isn't something where I think they can afford to let the voices of their residents be left unaddressed. I'd certainly like to issue an invitation to both ministers. Please come down to the county. I'd invite you to meet with me right here. I'd love a chance to walk the property with you and have a conversation with you with some of the folks who have expressed such deep concern over this practice of spraying, over its implications for human health, and over its implications for the biodiversity of the forest. I'd like to have a chance to walk this property with you a little bit and talk to you right here. And I certainly hope that you'll take us up on that invitation and come down and meet with us before the spraying takes place. And I would certainly ask that you do respond to our request before the spraying actually takes place. Don't let the clock run down on this. I think our residents deserve better. Yeah, there was a little rise out there.
I'm Justine Kerr. I live in Bear River, and I love the water and I love the land, and I'm scared because we're ruining it. If we have no trees, we will have no water, and then there will be no humanity, and it's as clear as that. Thank you.